Greetings and welcome to ValoU. I'm Zaladrith and I'll be your instructor for today. Today's class is Tactics 320, Swinging Off Contact. Often when outnumbering enemies in defensive situations like attack or post plant, the call will be don't peek or let's play together, but most people don't actually know what that really means. A direct definition might just imply hiding behind cover and just surrendering all map control for free, or standing near each other in hopes that enemies will overswing into multiple guns. However, simply clumping up is vulnerable to getting util dumped, like with flashes, smokes, and mollies, as well as risking blocking each other's movement and getting collided. Additionally, an opponent that carefully slices the pie will still be able to isolate fights, even from adjacent enemies. So since we can't literally just not peek the whole time, and playing together isn't the literal meaning, what should we do? One of the most flexible ways to use numbers advantage with our guns is to swing off contact. So let's break down the steps needed to swing off contact effectively. The first step is gaining information on the enemy's location and their possible routes. If you don't know where enemies can come from, you or your teammates might leave yourself exposed to getting shot in the back without proper usage of shield and sword. The next step is that someone actually needs to prepare to make first contact, to be the player that will see and shoot at the approaching enemy first for a given route. As the first contact, you need to choose an angle that gives your team an easily accessible kill zone, which is usually a passive angle with angle advantage to leave them as exposed as possible. Since any enemy approaching on the route will have to cross your sightline no matter what, every point on that sightline will define the potential kill zone. To further increase chances of the first contact surviving, usually the player with the most unexpected position should play first contact, such as an unexpected off angle, a lurk angle, an off elevation angle like boosted up on a box, etc., essentially using defender's advantage to the utmost. There's also the option of setting up a true crossfire or playing high-low here to further increase effectiveness, but all of it is essentially just different ways of playing first contact. After first contact is made, last is for teammates to actually swing off contact. To do this, teammates should pick a piece of cover that has full cover from all locations leading up to the kill zone, yet be only one step away from seeing the most likely portions of the kill zone, so they can all simultaneously silent fast peek to join in the fight. This is where the value of picking a passive angle for first contact is so important, because this means that the kill zone is usually much easier to swing from multiple different directions. Thinking about what this feels like from the point of view of the aggressor, they'd be surprised by one or more enemies playing an off angle, possibly with a true crossfire or playing high-low, and immediately, before they can even reset the recoil, they'd be swung from multiple new angles, making spray transferring nigh impossible. In this first example, my chamber first defends an aggressive angle, meaning the kill zone is so far away that no other teammates can really swing off contact effectively. I do my best, but Jet has cover from me from this angle, so I decide to back off due to the higher-lower roll, and then look for another opportunity to swing off contact. Once she gives away information, by pushing through my smoke, I distract her with some random shots to start setting up our contact play. Our Phoenix near generator takes first contact on the distracted opponent, and while Cypher and I are a little bit late, we still try to swing off contact to force her to 180 repeatedly if she wants a chance to win the fight. While this example isn't that clean, notice how every time Jet's attention turns on me, I immediately take evasive action, extending the amount of time my allies have to fight and trying to be annoying in a fashion reminiscent of whack-a-mole. In this next example, I set my Cypher up in a great position to take first contact while I once again set up the whack-a-mole. Notice that since I have the aggressive angle here, I let the enemies walk into the passive angle held by Cypher before I minimap refrag, and then double swing on the Sage whose crosshair placement has been completely broken by our play. Finally, let's take a look at what it takes to beat enemies swinging off contact. I know for certain that Chamber crossed over to teleporter's side, so my crosshair placement is already ready for him. However, knowing this, the enemy Omen swings to take an effective first contact, taking advantage of my distracted crosshair placement. After I barely managed to win the fight, because the chamber was a bit late in swinging off Omen's contact, I just barely managed to pre-fire my spray transfer in order to win, but 99% of the time I should be a goner due to their superior tactics. In summary, rather than giving vague advice like don't peek or play together, deliberately try to set up ways to swing off contact. To do this, you need to first get information on likely enemy routes, then set up strong first contact using defender's advantage, angles advantage, crossfires, or playing high-low, and finally, having teammates ready to swing off contact from one step away to join in punishing the kill zone. That's all for today's lesson. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to the lecturer or the TAs in the comments below. Thanks for attending, and we hope you enjoy your stay here at ValoU.
I'm gonna ult.
One enemy remaining.
Actually, we don't need an ult. I have my turret.
It is done.